Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Triple Double Nation. Today we'll be covering the 8 super underrated NBA players in 2021. Let's get into the video. Role player is not an insult, nor is it a permanent label. Many of today's All-Stars are yesterday's 3-and-D guys, and behind every story about a max player reaching new heights is an improved cast of supporting characters lifting him there. None of these 8 players will make the All-Star team this season, but they've all been indispensable of their respective teams. Let's start with a 25-year-old rookie who spent last season in Australia. Number 8, Jae'Sean Tate, Houston Rockets. Stephen Silas was impressed from the beginning. In training camp, the Houston Rockets coach promised that fans would enjoy watching Tate, an exciting player who had spent the first 2 years of his professional career with Antwerp Giants and Sydney Kings. It was already clear to Silas that the 6'4" Tate was strong enough to defend taller players. He could set solid screens, he could put the ball on the floor. It turns out, though, that Tate is even more versatile than that. I didn't expect to have a forward point on my roster, Silas said. The day after the James Harden trade, only 4 Rockets were available to play against the San Antonio Spurs. John Wall was out with a sore knee, Eric Gordon was out with a leg injury, Chris Clemens' season had ended when he tore his Achilles in an exhibition game. 30 seconds in, Tate hit Keldon Johnson with a right-to-left crossover off a handoff, powered his way to the rim and scored off the glass. On Houston's next offensive possession, Tate brought the ball up, ran a pick and roll, and picked up his first assist. He finished with 13 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and plus 17 in his 33 minutes. Number 7, Chris Boucher, Toronto Raptors. Whenever Boucher shoots, I expect the ball to find its way to the bottom of the net. I expect this, especially if the Toronto Raptors are in the middle of one of their dispiriting droughts. Boucher just checked into the game and the shot isn't particularly open. While his team has had a thoroughly strange, slightly cursed time in Tampa Bay, Boucher seems to have existed in a different universe, unbothered by the relocation, the record, and the rest of it. For Toronto, the twin departures of Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka have been punishing as the relative struggles of Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, and Aaron Baines. For Boucher, all of this has afforded him playing time and a chance to stand out. Number 6, DeAndre Hunter, Atlanta Hawks. Coming into the season, it was reasonable to wonder about Hunter's role. Minutes aren't gifted to second-year players on teams that have better options and are trying to make the playoffs. With Danilo Gallinari and Bogdan Bogdanovic in the picture, it no longer mattered that Hunter was the 4th pick in the draft. It didn't matter that Cam Reddish was the 10th pick either. Would there even be room in the rotation for both of them? A few weeks in, that seems laughable. Hunter has started every game and played only 13 fewer minutes than Trae Young. The only other Hawk averaging more than 30 minutes per game, John Collins, presciently called Hunter a super glue guy during the preseason, an appropriate name for a player who has held Atlanta's lineups together while Gallinari, Rajon Rondo, Chris Dunn, and Onyeka Onwuchekwu have barely played. Bogdanovic injured his knee a few weeks ago. Number 5, Nicholas Batum, Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers want the world to know that everything feels different. Their energy is way better, their chemistry is amazing. They fell apart in last year's playoffs, sure, but that won't happen again. We'll see. One thing that is definitely new, though, is their starting lineup. They moved Ivica Zubac to the bench in favor of a much ballyhooed season, signing Serge Ibaka, and moved Marcus Morris to the bench in favor of Nicholas Batum, whose arrival in Los Angeles was barely ballyhooed at all. The new starters have a plus 22.7 net rating, an incredible number that is almost identical to the old groups. Ibaka allows them to play 5 out of the new coach, Tyronn Lue. And Batum works so beautifully as a low-usage gap filler that we should all be retroactively mad that he spent the last season chilling in Charlotte. Number 4, Damian Lee, Golden State Warriors. Lee hit a game-winning 3 on December 27th, saving the Golden State Warriors from an 0-3 start. More significant than the shot, though, was that Coach Steve Kerr kept him on the court for the entire fourth quarter, save for an offensive substitution on the play that preceded a big moment. Lee played the whole fourth in the Warriors' comeback victory against the Clippers on January 8th too, and Kerr put him in when they were desperate for crunch time score against the Raptors 2 days later. With 4.3 seconds left, Kyle Lowry fouled him on a jump shot, and Lee made the free throws that sealed the win. Context is everything in the NBA. The Warriors' starting unit has been awful offensively, with opposing teams daring anybody but Stephen Curry to make jumpers, and fans have been clamoring for Lee to replace Kelly Oubre Jr. for weeks. 55% of Lee's field goal attempts have been above the break threes, per cleaning the glass, and he has made 43.2% of his catch and shoot threes. Number 3, Desmond Bane, Memphis Grizzlies. To survive without Ja Morant, the Memphis Grizzlies needed Dillon Brooks and Kyle Anderson to make more plays. They needed their team defense to keep them in games. Just like last season, though, they were able to overachieve because of their bench. The Grizzlies went 4-4 without Morant, a stretch in which their most used lineup, the starting unit of Tyus Jones, Brooks Anderson, Brandon Clark, and Jonas Valanciunas, had a minus 13.9 rating. Their bench, however, ranked 10th in the league, and the guy they selected with the number 30 pick in the draft has a lot to do with it. Desmond Bane has been exactly as advised as a pro. His shooting is particularly valuable for the same reason Lee's has been so important to Golden State. Number 2, Willie Cauley-Stein, Dallas Mavericks. As a roller, Cauley-Stein catches everything, finishes almost everything, and absolutely must be accounted for. You think someone like that would work well with Luka Doncic? Cauley-Stein has insane off and on numbers, and the Mavericks have a plus 17.2 net rating with him and Doncic on the court. The threat of the alley-oop creates shots for Dallas shooters, and Cauley-Stein's speed and transition generates easy buckets too. Between this, his knack for putbacks, and the Mavs being a better defensive team with him on the court, Rich Carlisle had all sorts of reasons to make him their starting center a couple of weeks ago. Number 1, Cameron Payne, Phoenix Suns. The sample size is increasing and every little is changing. After a charmed run with the Phoenix Suns in the bubble, Payne has continued his renaissance. Payne is averaging 15.5 points, 8.8 assists, 5.0 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per 36 minutes as Chris Paul's backup. The Suns are blowing teams out in Payne's minutes, and they are forcing turnovers like crazy. When they play him next to Javon Carter and Langston Galloway, he hasn't been quite as scorching as he was in the bubble, but he's still on fire. 59.7 true shooting, 42.9% from deep. Look at these off the dribble threes. Payne is crafty and patient in the pick and roll, which leads me to my favorite obscure stat of the season. On a per obsession basis, no one has assisted more three-pointers than Payne. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.